Tokyo is going to be totally fine, and he is going to have that opportunity to get that first, fast item timing that the panel was talking about to have that impact.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that the Death Prophet is playing as a 4 position in this game. We haven't really seen that at all. Oh no, sorry, it's 5. What am I saying? There's both supports on top. I was confused for a moment.
They're just running the aggro for now. Okay, Slayer's now going to go down and join Palantimos here in the safe lane. So yeah, don't worry. It's still going to be the 5. It's going to be the 5.
It's just still an underrated hero, I think. We've seen it first 2 a lot more often, but I think it's going to start getting opening banned a little more often as well. The ultimate, right?
That's the big thing.
It's XP-based damage output. We've seen 5 supports run mid, level 6, level 7. They end up doing the most damage in the team fight. You end the game with the most tower damage dealt. It's a pretty powerful input you can get from your 5. Compare that to, I'm trying to think of a, there's really no useless 5s anymore. Not like the old days where, no one's picking Lich.
Well, we did have some Lich, I think, early in this Eastern European division. Sure. But you're right, not a lot.
I guess it's unfair.
There's definitely some.
Useless.
I mean, there are some 5s that you'll never see. I mean, when was the last time you saw Dazzle?
True.
That hero's kind of totally out of it right now.
Yeah. Like, I'm a big Jakiro fan, as an example, but the problem is you just need too many levels. Whereas Death Prophet, you go like 212, 203, have ultimate skilled at 6, and it's like, holy crap, this is the core of damage and sustain, and you have no items but raindrops, wand, and boots. But yeah. Anyway, check out the lanes. Mid is the one I really want to key in on. I think Toronto-Tokyo should come out ahead, but it is Void Spirit. You pretty much trade with anybody, but I've got a lot of faith in Pikachu that one of these days he'll have the same success that his twin brother has found. But to get there, they would certainly need to win this match and make sure they stay Division 1.
No, I was gonna say, what you'd say out of the mids, you feel that there's more potential in Pikachu than there is in Toronto-Tokyo in the future? Like, if you're seeing sort of a year from now, if you had to call one of these mids you're seeing on, sort of in the upper division still and staying at the top, which would it be?
Hard to say, because it's not about individual skill once you reach this level.
Yeah.
It's more about how you grow as a player and your concepts and how smart you are as a Dota player. Like, I'll use Nisha and Thompson as like shining examples. These guys are good at not just one style of hero, and that's the problem with both these guys. But I would say more specifically Toronto-Tokyo, his Storm, his Ember, all of his spirits,
his Death Prophet,
his Windranger.
That's what they're winning games with.
But they're all the same concept. They all do the same thing. I guess DP would be a bit more unique, but that's one of the most understood mid-heroes to like play around as a team and to lead a game. It's like, oh, ult's up, guess what, let's smoke, let's go make a move. It gets more complicated when you're playing stuff like Clinks or Invoker.
See, so far in the laning stage, I mean, both carries at the moment having a bit of a struggle finding the farm in their safe lane. Which is certainly there from both sides. Offlaners, in fact, they're the 2 heroes that are getting the most out of this laning stage at the moment. Bloodseeker and Tide. Toro this time, he's got the Fairy Fire, but Bignum, he needs one more hit. Can he find it? He drops the ward down. Yatoro's trying to juke. He's got a salve going. And that, stun's going to connect. Bignum, he's able to turn with Ghostik and get the kill. Bignum will fall, but a very worthy trade there for Unique. Not only taking down Yatoro, but of course getting him after he did attempt to live with a salve used.
And they, refresh my memory, they picked Tide into the Wraith King, right? It wasn't Wraith King into Tide?
So I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the last pick Windranger. Yeah. So
yeah, the Tide was 3rd pick. I remember that.
Yeah, this is why T-Gov reacted the way he did. Because you effectively lose your safe lane. The moment you pick Wraith King, you already have the coddle there, so unless you're willing to flex that out and pick a much stronger 5, you're going to be in trouble. And, Lion isn't really the strongest 4 position either, so you consider that mid lane, you also had the counter pick. Set up for a really nice laning phase here, Spirit. In fact, they lead, or sorry, not Spirit, but Unique, and I wouldn't say they're, how is bottom? These lanes don't make sense to me. I would not expect bottom to be going this poorly as well for Unique. It's close, sure, but you typically would think Lifestealer would win this lane handily. Trading with Bloodseeker.
Well, I mean, I see what you mean. What you feel that he would have more farm out of this setup than Collapse would.
Yeah.
This Collapse, trying to go on him. Every time just laying down the Blood Bright. They can't dive any further.
Well, it's also because, Palantimos just went straight for this chainmail, whereas collapse one for an urn, which obviously with no charges isn't really helping out too much. I guess I underrate the SD4, right? Saw this picked up by a couple teams in the Europe upper division as well. Just a ton of poison spam. It's really annoying to deal with. And any stacks up? Not quite yet.
And all in all, the close early game. The mid lane matchup, very even. Pikachu and TORONTOTOKYO. As Pikachu, he's going to make that first move. He's got an Invis rune, and he's heading straight for this top lane. Obviously, the information's been shared that he's away from mid. So Spirit are keeping themselves pretty safe and close to the tower. And looks like Pikachu won't find an opportunity to jump them there.
I really like this move, though. You know, the downside of Wraith King now is he's much weaker in the early game. So, oh, hold up. Nope.
Or maybe. And he's going to pop that rage. And we'll be able to dive in underneath the tower and get himself the kill.
I keep forgetting that kid's move. It's so weird when these ancient concepts are just a bit... Same with, like, Epicenter. Every time Sand King starts channeling, I'm like, oh, care. But then it just, he walks away. And I like that they rotate to top, though. This is the downside of it. You can run it as lane. And at this point, level 4, no real skeleton charges. I mean, you can't rotate out, right? So if you pressure the Toro, and we already know how greedy Toro really likes to play Dota 2. There's not really a way to recover. Tidehunter is going to be able to pressure the lane by himself pretty soon. He's huge, actually. Oh my god, this is a disaster.
I mean, Ghostik's got complete free farm. And with the urn and the morbid mask, you can't harass him out of lane. This level 3 anchor smash with the lifesteal from the mask it's just going to give him so much HP back every single time. He's going to be just sat in this lane, constantly at full HP. Just not a target, really, that's going to be gankable at all this early when you consider the heroes that Spirit have.
No, definitely not. I mean, unique. Yeah, off to a great start. They're going the farming build on Pikachu as well for the max to simulate. You got a nice stack. I'd love to see Bignum. In fact, if he'd done it once or twice already, I'd be really happy. But if he does it now, stack the Ancients. You know, your Tide doesn't need you. He's farming alone. So unless you're going to go ward or find kills immediately, every Ancient stack represents a hero kill.
They might find the kill here. Let's see Miposhka. Speedy enough with the movements. So they are unable to find him in that tree line.
So you could get the kill there, or take the higher EV play and stack Ancients. It gives the same gold and XP. I would also not mind if he ventured into the area of the map that Yatoro is farming. You've shoved him out of lane. Go drop a sentry in a camp. Those last forever nowadays. They just annoy him. Like, trade your doing nothing for the enemy carry doing nothing whenever possible. But Pikachu is actually stacking for himself instead, although he might let Ghostik take it. So we shall see. And bottom, still really nothing doing. Both cores now with phase boots, ports smacking each other. Really peaceful game so far. No violence.
No. 2 for 1 here. 8 minutes in. Down bottom, an attempt here from Spirit, but nothing more than just a disruption. Won't dive in on that. Yatoro at least find himself the possessed mask. That'll help him stay even safer in the jungle as he tries to play the catch-up game after to deal with a bit of a tough lane here against Ghostik.
I don't want to harp on it too much. The last time I mentioned it, if Insania was watching this, he'd be very upset with Taiga. He'd say, "You're rank 1. Look at you. You're running in circles. Why are my Ancients being stacked? What are we doing here? We're standing here to help my Tide, like, threaten a coddle, but realistically, even if Ghostik dies, how many heroes is it going to take? 3, 4? Fine with that. I guess you'll secure tower, sure, but I do feel Pikachu could have done this by himself. They will give Slayer the XP mid, though, which is quite nice. He's saving a point. Big fan, just in case you might need the silence. If he gets 6, then it's a real easy rotation towards mid, because you combine this level or 5 position Death Prophet with a super farm Tide, Ravage DPL. Like, how are you going to contest a mid tower push? What, is Wraith King going to show up?
Oh, I mean, yeah, absolutely. It's if he turns up, he's going to go down for sure. So we'll see if they do head over and try and push him. Javelin out and Arcane Rune ready on TORONTOTOKYO. See if he can find any opportunities to go for a kill, go for a pick-off. But the way things are at the moment, Unique aren't going to be the easiest team to catch off guard as they seem to be prepared and indeed do start to sweep over towards the other lanes to start getting pressure on these other tier 1 towers.
Not it. missing. So if you look at the way OG plays, if you ever spend, you get fear drunk and talk to him, they'll always discuss timing. When is this hero supposed to get things done? That's what they play around. It has nothing to do with does the Windranger have 500 extra gold or not. It's is my team strong? Can we use the Ravage? Can we use the DP ult? I remember Fear just discussing like estimating when he'd be at Necro 3 timing 6 minutes into the game, and he'd be like, yeah, it's gonna be faster. I think we'll get it by 17. Like it, all the timings. Nice chew.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, so you have your strongest hero on map currently hiding behind tower. Looks like they may look to make a move, but Slayer is also going to rotate down here. Trouble is, TORONTOTOKYO, Spirit's strongest hero, he's doing his job. He is camping on enemy mid-hill and just applying as much pressure as possible, daring anybody to try and run at him. I think they're going to get the hell out of bottom. Or not.
Now they're going to jump in onto Mira. I'll just have a little bit of time with destruction, but he is definitely dead.
Check out his network, though, Owen.
I had no reason.
Sure. What, in the sense that it's not worth a lot, that kill?
4-man rotation to your own safe lane. Meanwhile, top is being pushed out.
Mid as well. Look at the tower.
Yeah.
Getting some hits in here, TORONTOTOKYO, as he brings it down very low there with that space he was given mid.
I would trade my life as a last net worth support for 1,000+ damage on the mid tower. Think that trade all day. And up top, yeah, the Lifestealer is a bit ahead of this Wraith King, but they're trading. You know,
and he's catching up, right? Yeah. He had a tough start. You know, and if at this stage he's only 200 behind the Lifestealer, I think he's going to be pretty happy with him.
He's catching Ghostik. You know, Ghostik had him doubled up at a point.
Or maybe, what could they be waiting for here? Has Ghostik got another big item coming? I mean, he's farming up the Blink Dagger, right? So could be the call there, you know, saying 1,400 gold in. He wants to wait for that. It's
unfortunately common cold of next item syndrome.
Oh hell yes.
Devastating chances of the game having a productive day. I hope that they utilize it well, but you're getting to a point. Toronto, yeah, of course, queued up BKB. So this is the big relationship, right? You will get this blink on Tide, but then the Windranger will have a BKB to counteract it, and suddenly you're in trouble. But if you use that window well, maybe you win a big team fight, you get mid-tower, you get Roche, but I'm just still in shock that Team Unique have not done anything to this mid-tower or used a Ravage. I mean, they're just content to farm.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they do just feel, well, we've got this with this Lifestealer. As long as we're able to secure our half of the map, make sure that Palantimos can farm wherever he wants to, he's going to be able to carry this game. We don't need to try making aggressive moves early on. But you feel from this perspective, you know, you see this game and you feel that, you know, the net worth is still very even, but Unique, they should have had it in them to be able to take a little bit more objective-wise and begin to get an early lead this game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't want to keep twisting the knife, honestly. We'll see how the game plays out.
Sure, because their idea is obviously very different to yours, right?
Yeah,
what they want to do with their drafting.
To your point, they're happy. So they are not reading the game the same way at all. They're saying, all right, Ghostik's keeping our bot tower alive. Yeah. We're free farming our Lifestealer. Maybe mid's a bit tough. You know, they made a little bit of a screw up there over rotating to give Toronto so much time on that tower. But yeah, we're just chilling. We're farming.
I mean, everyone is. It's 14 minutes in, just 3 for 2. Just one of those slow burners here. So
want to make sure they stack Ancients, though. That's key. You know, we see this. Yatoro, was that a 4-stack? Yep, 4 or 3. Unfortunately, I have only seen 1 stack on the Radiant Ancient so far this game, but they've got Blink, they have Ravage. Now, it is go time. Bounty spawn in 20 seconds as well.
Ghost out. Tower start forward. Spirit do try and defend this tower. As you say, you know, Unique's fight around this point's going to be very strong. Ghostik's going to jump over the side there, in onto Mira. It's the Shadow Demon. Want more out of this Unique, at least to find the tower as well as the SD kill. Over to the side, they're chasing for collapse. The Yules into Remnant. setting up with the gush. They've got the stun. Now burst him with the finger. Collapse will get taken out. So they do manage to find that core kill.
Money changes hands.
And they'll get 2 bounties, 3 bounties. Well, they don't get the mid tower, but
the
yeah,
tower.
we'll take that. 2 kills, 1 on the core. Steal enemy ancient.
And they did have to use Ravage.
The trouble is, once you use the DP ult, even though it is a support, it becomes a lot more difficult to just hit on the tower. All 3 of their cores are melee. None really do much structure damage. Lifestealer will at a point, but it's not so simple for them. Take objectives. It's another reason I like the DP5. It's a lot like Rasta when it needs to be picked there, and that's just kind of guarantees you have the ability to pick it out. Oh, he's just dead.
Bottom. Are they going to be able to kill the Windranger? They will, but they've lost the tide. They're going to lose both of them here. As both Ghostik and Slayer go down, and that, you know, sure, they get the Windranger, but Ravage obviously being used in an attempt to save his life, and it didn't work out, didn't save him.
That was really strange, though. I thought TORONTOTOKYO could live for sure. He didn't run away. He kind of circled and also didn't try to sip his bottle in between ticks of that urn. You can see here.
But he was siphoned as well, though. I think at the end.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, but watch, he doesn't run away. You know, he
Sure,
like
he kind of curves in.
Yeah.
That was still a good fight for Spirit, even with the loss of the Windranger.
We're gonna get mid tower though, thanks to the skeletons.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are
With it
fortified.
just to be safe, it does restore. You know, another reason I think the game's got a lot more passive is I didn't really realize how good it felt until I played a bunch of Dota while I've been here, but 3 armor and 1 health regen under tier 1s. Look, like, click on the tower. That's so much space. You know, if you have lane control, extra 3 armor is like 12% more physical damage reduction.
Sure, makes it any
So like, even just trading hits is insane. And then tier 2s, no wonder they're so hard to take, because it's 5 armor. 5 armor. It's like a free 600 gold for everybody who team. Yeah, I digress. Well done though by Spirit though. They're keeping their mid tower alive. Both sides, you know, putting enough emphasis on the mid tower. From a defensive stature, at least, I would have preferred either one of these teams a little more aggro. You're gonna have an AC completed quite soon on yatoro. That might be a nice timing for Spirit, but I think that if there's anybody in this game that can afford to be passive, it's actually this Dire team, especially with the Coddle as well. That ag's quite devastating later portions of this game.
No, yeah, for sure. I think you look at the 3 cores of Spirit, I'd say there's definitely more scaling potential in those than the unique in the lane.
Regeneration.
You have these 3 heroes that can effectively pack the punch.
Radiant
They're
are
all
scaling.
going to be able to right-click down heroes in drawn-out team fights. The later stages.
So far, so good. I'm not going to bring up Radiant Ancients. Don't let me bring up Radiant Ancients again.
Well, there's still no stacks.
No stacks, and no one's really farming them either. Now it's going to Palantimos. There we go.
Gonna get a stack going?
No, he's just going to farm.
Yeah,
them.
he's gonna get some.
Yeah, it's fine. It's more, it's really just kind of how I feel the Tide had to be played, right? You can collapse mid tower, cool with that, get it early, use a Ravage, or you retreat to your Ancients and take like a 5 stack. And it's like, oh my god, this Tide Blink Dagger's online like 5 minutes faster.
We obviously have 2 opportunities for Ghostik to really make plays with the Blink. Drop the Demonic Purge on him mid. Still rather tanky, so Spirit can't chase up to the high ground for that.
Yep.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So far, so good. I mean, both teams just chilling. It's all vibes right now. I mean, it makes sense, though. A lot on the line here. Unique trying to ensure that they can guarantee they won't be relegated. Team Spirit guarantee they have a tiebreaker to go to the major. So certainly I'd say more on the line for them in a sense, just because getting to the major, you know, after a year, more than a year, without a DPC event, you know, that's got to be the best teams in the world to play for 2 weeks.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Try
attack.
even more DPC points.
Dire
Comes
are
up.
scanning.
He's in. Drops the Ravage down. He's able to catch on to the 2, and then they blow a Mira with the finger. Now they turn their attention over towards yatoro. Yatoro, with the armor, keeping himself alive. He's actually able to topple again. He's keeping his life protected. They just turn on a Palantimos with the focus fire. Yatoro, he'll go down the once. BKB up on the Windranger. TORONTOTOKYO is able to keep going. The tower with another shackle connects the Lifestealer over towards the Void Spirit. As TORONTOTOKYO is able to find that angle. Pikachu trying to dive in and get some more damage done to collapse and the Wraith King, but they're too tanky. They stand their ground, they kill off the Void Spirit. As it's not a great fight for Unique at all. Spirit able to easily fight back in that triangle, and they might even find more here as Slayer has been found in the trees. He's going to go for the TP out, but they've got the rod to cancel it.
That one hurts. You know, Team Spirit, they're ready. You open on a Wraith King and a hard support. You're not really sweating that as Team Spirit. You know, the reincarnation comes off, the AC gets delivered, and that just got to spook you. Like, we've made a mistake the moment that AC aura pops up mid-respawn, but this is the trouble when you play too safe. You need to get the little wins. You watch Team Secret, you watch OG, when they have a lead, they jam it down your throat and they get a bigger one. And then when they make this big play, it's a commanding advantage. In this spot, Unique had a little bit of an edge and just did nothing with it. They sat on it, makes this move for the big win, but it's an even game now. In fact, you could argue Team Spirit had hit so many timings. That was the first real big initiation. TORONTOTOKYO has a BKB.
Yeah, he's got BKB.
He has BKB. He pops ulti on the Lifestealer, and that's that.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we're seeing how effective it is, but this decision, you know, on the Wraith King to go for that AC rush, you know, see here, 1 minute 39 faster than the patch fastest, of course, because all these games,
yeah, more
Radiant, you know, but this game, you know, yatoro, he recognizes, you know, a quick AC is going to do so much more than the Radiance will in the long term. You know, obviously against the Lifestealer, the Radiance has, you know, much less of an effect with them having that rage. And the AC, I mean, they knew with the time that Unique were taking to actually really bring them to a fight, he knew he could get it done really before the first aggressive jump from Unique. And when you're jumping into a team at 20 minutes with an AC, where we have quite a large reliance on physical damage to get kills, you're not going to have that punch that you would have had a few minutes ago.
Oh no, Ghostik. You're getting caught, my friend. But
I've got the control, I've got the damage.
So,
and that's also his courier, so that's going to be Halberd delayed for 2 minutes with the recipe dead.
Yeah, I really want to. Oh my God.
It's got the jump, so he'll live. But
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
To go back to this whole conversation about timings, 3K gold lead for Spirit, sure. The big window now, you have a halberd on the Tide, as you said, and also we saw in that last fight there was a halberd on the Lifestealer.
He lost his, they killed his courier. He's not got it for 2 minutes now.
So the trouble is these active disarms, even if he wins once he gets it, won't be effective on a hero that's already BKB'd, and it's really for the Windranger. In addition, this is a natural MKB buyer, so that evasion is going to be mostly negated in what? 3-4 minutes. So you're behind, and the window of semi-advantage you have, you invest in these items that make you stronger, but it doesn't help you scale. Well, you've got 4 minutes or that window closes. You're not actually stronger anymore. In fact, these items are negligible. Now they hurt you more than help you because you're not doing enough damage in the team fights. You would love to have an AC to cancel out Yatoros, but you went for this this build-up item along the way, and another smoke will come out. They have their spells. Ravage is ready. They've got to get something done here, and hopefully convert that into a Roshan.
If they can find anything here, they will find the DD. Nice bit of a buff for the next bit of action. Unable to get a jump. They're going to be spotted out by the creep wave. Won't be able to get a catch on. If try for Roche, but their lineup is not super easy. Good fight round the pit, but they don't necessarily take it down too quickly.
It's a cool build, Slayer. 3 points in silence. I think that's probably the right way to play this support TP. You get double damage for your level 2 on Q. Decreases in proportion for further points. Silence cooldown decrease. Well, it's quite nice, especially in a game against SD Common.
Is under attack.
And into Roche they go. They do have Ravage, so they can defend it, but I am a little spooked. There's a BKB on the Wraith King. They're gonna collect these bounty runes and say, hey guys, we don't see anybody. Where could they be? And they have already pinged it. They're on the way.
You're gonna get there in time.
They gotta hustle. Smoke. It's gonna be close.
They will. They're gonna get here a pretty good time, but Ravage
What do you
is
do here?
available.
Oh goodness.
They want to keep finishing off this rope, but Palantimos is to get past. He has to put the rage, but he's been ruptured. Jumps into Slayer. Keep him away, but Roshan is so low here. And now they will have to Ravage, but they won't have Exorcism for this fight. As yatoro, he just heads into the pit, and he's just going to be able to finish it. They don't even attempt to fight without the Exorcism. They don't feel confident to go back in, and Spirit pretty much just get handed themselves a free Roshan and a free Aegis.
Thank you very much. We'll take that. It's like that one time I got bullied. I was Halloween trick-or-treating for hours. Some kid just showed up, took my candy.
Nice.
No, it wasn't. Not at all. I guess in this case it's fine though. It is a competitive video game after all. But the big thing there is that there was a BKB on Yatoro, and Unique knew that. Suddenly you're already a bit outmatched, you're outpositioned, and you know that your only real initiation is Ghostik going forward, like Tin. But if Yatoro just BKBs, Toronto's BKBs, you know, no one else is going to be in range. That's it. Your initiation's kaput. Just a losing scenario, and this game slipping slowly out of Unique's hands.
Dire's bottom
I
tower
fear
is
soon
under
it
attack.
will increase in pace as Spirit have a commanding lead now. The Solar Crest as well, all this damage amplification. They're just gonna go high ground. Why not?
Yeah, Aegis, reincarnation. Let's see how much they're able to push it here. Ghostik will
Dire's
turn up.
bottom tower is under attack.
It's going to be enough for them
Structures
to
are
back off for now. I mean, there's still tier 2s to be taken in the other lanes. You've now got the MKB finished on Toronto-Tokyo. Both him and yatoro
Dire's
continue to
bottom
hold
tower
those top
has
2
fallen.
spots. Yatoro in particular
Bloods are
having
running.
a remarkable turnaround after what was a very tough laning stage.
hell
He's
yes.
showing the power of that Wraith King with the recovery he's made. And these items,
Wow.
huge threat, Collapse even feeling comfortable enough to start slipping into Dagon territory on the Bloodseeker.
Dig it. And look at that. I mean, Yatoro found a cloak of flames too, so
Radiant's
he's
middle
makeshift
tower
radiance
is
to
under
boot.
attack.
Make it Tokyo though. Wow, that was a big kill.
Rest well.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised he did die there, right? Because I feel like he died to the magic damage left by the Astral Step, but he was able to pop BKB. So how did that work, Kyle? I guess,
Oh well, Astral pierces BKB.
well, the magic damage does? Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought, okay, you're right. I thought when it says yes, I thought it was only the physical element, but I guess you're right. The physical and magical element must pierce BKB because
Generation.
he pops the BKB, but the magical damage left by the Astral Step still kills him off.
Oh, wow, wait. Or did it? What? I didn't even see the BKB animation.
I mean, he got it off because it's on cooldown, 70 seconds. Look, watch his items. Same tick.
Wow. Okay, could have been like a same tick thing, because you're right. I wasn't sure.
If
I
they-
just assumed that
No, I mean, you're right.
damage did too.
No, actually, you know, you're right. The ability does say pierce and spell immunity, yes, but obviously has a physical element and a magical element. I thought, you know, Valve being Valve, it was just referencing the physical, but I guess it references the magical. Astral Step attacks do not cleave.
War over already?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I think it did when it was first released.
No, I don't
people
think
bought it,
I've never bought Battlefield. I think anyway, mid-lane Slayer. Oh my goodness. Not going to stand much chance next to this Wraith King, buffed up by the Solar Crest. Armlet, BKB, AC, and Basher.
Going back to timing, this is a 4K lead for Spirit. Does it feel like a 4K lead? Feels
Radiant's middle tower
like a
has
lot more
fallen.
than that, and a big part of that is just Yatoro on this Wraith King. A terrible start, an awful
Radiant's
laning
middle
phase. He's
tower is
jungling
under
at level
attack.
5. Blink, 30 minutes later, here he is.
I mean, that's
top
a
of the
great
network.
feat, right? That's
Dire's
why it
top tower
had sort
is
of
under
this,
attack.
and it still has, you know, this period of teams just loving to go for it. You are going to be able to make that recovery in the jungle if the enemy team isn't getting in your face and playing super aggro. And this game, Unique, they certainly weren't doing that. Where we saw a very sort of calm beginning from them after some strong opening lanes. And now the game has just allowed Spirit to really come into their element. And Unique's lack
Radiant's
of pace
bottom
is
tower is under
definitely
attack.
starting to hurt them.
Oh, for sure. And they do it very methodically now, right? Just, okay, we got 8. Great. Take tier 2s.
Radiant's
Awesome. Okay,
bottom tower
control the
has
outpost.
fallen.
30 minutes. Let's smoke towards top. They were thinking about contesting these bounties, but Coddle Summon wasn't available yet. Ult was on cooldown until about just now. And they leave Yatoro bottom. So this effectively splits the map and makes Unique pick a choice, but they always have that
Radiant's
option to
bottom
bring him
tower
to
is
the
under
Coddle
attack.
if needed. But like the map is theirs now. Great wards, top.
Yeah,
Underrated lane wards right there.
How does
Very
this
rarely countered.
Lifestealer ever catch back up?
Oh, you don't. Well, I mean, you can. It's possible.
That's hard, yeah. It's seeming very hard right now. Top lane Slayer. Trees and jump to that.
So far, so good for Spirit. Again, they win, they get a shot at a tiebreaker match. And in fact, you could argue they'd even be favored in a way. I mean, again, they lost to No Techies and Empire, the 2 teams at the bottom of the group right now.
They did, but those were also, as far as I'm aware, their first 2 series
Exactly.
of the league, right? So they had those 2 rough losses. Then they went into a series against VP, and they did take a game off VP. And then other than that, obviously, it's been all wins for Spirit. So, you know, I think it's definitely one of those teams that the case was that at the start of the league, they had, you know, sort of the first few games of really getting to the level that they're capable of. And now in games like this, I think we're seeing that. You know, this game, it really does feel that Spirit, they're playing it cool, they're playing it casual, and that's working out in this scenario. When you have Yatoro on his Wraith King, they can very comfortably just sort of sit behind him and say, you know, as long as Yatoro is having a good game, he's going to be able to carry out the opponent.
And now, you know, take enemy ancients. This is the triangle you want to be playing. Next Aegis maybe is the point you look to endgame, but you know, pro Dota, in pubs nowadays, like this is kind of just what Dota is now. You get this lead, you take map control, but you're not really thinking of going high ground until you double it, triple it, have Aegis, have G, and the cooldowns. And trying to go up the hill into Tidehunter is always surprised they allow their ancients. I guess it was waiting for the abyssal delivery. Okay, now it's go time. Back to the aggression. It's a little more not like parts of Dota is like you know you're stronger, but you don't want to like take some game deciding team fight without that big item that's like it's on the way. It's on the way.
Find anything here you need. Smoke's just giving them the opportunities to get these jumps that they hope for. Spirit not leaving themselves open for that sort of move to be made against them.
Well, only great is right now Spirit have 3 tier 3 items in the neutral stash. Guys, upgrade everything. You gotta.
What do they got?
Well, we have a Van Brace on Shadow Demon instead of the ceremonial robe. We've got a Cloak of
Dire's bottom tower
Flames
is under
going
attack.
wanting. I'd love to see Bloodseeker pick that up instead of his Nether Shawl, but I guess he just wants the Spell Amp. And then an Elven Tunic for the Wraith King. I think he gives that Orb of Destruction over to the
Radiant's
Windranger.
top tower
Right.
is under attack.
Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Orb of Disruption is pretty nice on.
Yes.
And I don't know if he needs the evasion. His attack's been enough, but even the move speed's got a Abyssal, he's closing gaps with the face. The evasion would be nice. But at the same time, you know, who's right-clicking him? It's just a Lifestealer, and I don't think he's going to care too much about Palantimos.
Dude, evasion is so good. It's
yeah,
also,
but
it's also
absolutely.
anti-healing.
But I think because of how far ahead he is, he knows if he can just speed up the rate that he's killing people with that extra minus armor, then he's going to take that every time. If they're down in a few crits, they're not even going to get the chance.
That's true. The Orb of Destruction. There, look at that. He can't survive.
Yeah. This Wraith King's not going to die. That's the last thing he's worried about at the moment, dying. As they'll lose Miposhka. They can get more out of this. They're trying for collapse. Forward the Abyssal onto Palantimos. Palantimos turning for Yatoro. We're going to see BKB from Toronto, Tokyo as he's looking towards Pikachu. Pikachu taking heavy damage here, jumps over to the side, look at what's Mira, they'll find the Shadow Demon, Ghost now out. As Team Spirit, they will outnumber, they've got a rush, it's buyback from Ghostik, giving Unique the power, run down another, they take him down the once. Can they do it again? He's got the BKB. See who he can focus on. The Palantimos getting the bashes. Shackle shot isn't going to connect as they've got to get the Wraith King out of it, but it looks like they won't be able to.
Wow.
As they're able to kite out the rest of the team, make sure that there's no help able to come in for yatoro. As yatoro goes down, Mira will die back. yatoro actually dead for 80 seconds.
That was wild. And is Roche up? Okay, that would have been brutal, but so Mira buys back there, but he doesn't get in, he's not in time. He doesn't have the, he has a blink and an Aether Lens, still not able to get the disruption off, and still pays with his life. The two shackles, you know, here's the problem with Windranger. 2 shackles used in that fight on Lifestealer, 2 shackles that do not latch.
No, they didn't.
That's that. That's your hero. Others, you just click stun. They're now stunned. But instead, missed shackle, now you have to spend the Abyssal early, and no MKB on the Wraith King, so that Halberd is super effective still. And I believe Windranger ultimate was also still on cooldown when they opened there, because Tida died, then bought back.
Well, no. I think he did have the ult. What Windranger did, I think he ulted Palantimos. Palantimos just jumped inside the Void Spirit, and then of course the Focus Fire was giving him no benefit at all.
Yep.
Because he couldn't keep hitting the Lifestealer.
Dire's middle tower
I'm surprised.
is under attack.
Pikachu's had a very quiet game, but very farmed. Like, he's actually
Dire's
ahead
courier has been killed.
of this enemy Windranger, but his itemization, that Lincoln's, very effective. A lot of spirits lockdown is all single target. He just throws that on the Lifestealer.
Yeah. Well, important fight now. Roche is up. Smoke from both sides. Palantimos popping the rage. See who's going to be able to get his hands on. He's looking for collapse. He's looking for Miposhka, but they'll wait it out. Set up for the 8-shot. Over the zone. Oh, beautiful job, Ghostik. He gets in with the 3 damage. It's going to be Miposhka down. Miposhka will buy back straight away. yatoro is able to turn onto Palantimos. He's now going to move over towards Ghostik. I mean, it was a great ravage, but that might not necessarily secure them. The team fires. Ghostik will go down. Over to the side, Pikachu trying to burst through this Windranger, and he will manage to do so as TORONTOTOKYO will fall. Big Jack will put the BKB the other way. The Blood Right Science on just so far. Sets up for the kill. Now they're looking for Slayer. 2 buybacks from Unique as they're trying to get back over it. They're trying to get yatoro, but yatoro takes down Slayer. The armlet toggling, keeping him alive as he now turns his efforts over towards Pikachu. Pikachu, he will get stunned up and taken out. Triple kill for Collapse.
What are those buybacks? They baited their teammates into thinking that their reinforcements were alive. Look at the map. You know, this is the power of map control. They have no tier 2s. They do not have an outpost. They teleported to the tier 3s, and they're like, wait, you're fighting like way over the river. You're across the channel.
I mean, it was a great jump, but it's initially not able to take down yatoro in time. He gets the BKB off, and you're losing Palantimos. It's sort of the first death of the fight here for Unique, and at that moment, it becomes very hard for them to really rally up and keep on fighting.
Like, the thing is, they're out. Like, at this point, I feel like you almost have to cut your losses. You get the kill, perfect. Get out. Bignum is
and
dead.
There's the buyback.
Yes, and this is the thing. Pikachu's gone. Like, he has BKB active. He has an Astral Step. He can just run. Instead, they're baited by this idea that eventually reinforcements will get here. But look at the TP location. Look how far away Palantimos is. Big man.
Big fight there for Spirit. Around an important point as well there, around that Roshan. As they've been able to clean that up. Aegis on yatoro. 3k gold as well.
And you can see the danger too. If he gets ulted by Windranger and there's no one to hop into right away, he just pretty much dies. Like, that was 4 seconds. Lifestealer goes from 100 to 0. Orchid now on Collapse. Both utilized, I guess, as a Lincoln's cancel, and also, you know, no BKB. Lifestealer can't really afford to buy one either. Already too much gold spent on defensive items. So
that is true, and they've got no.
Yeah.
Well, there's not
No
just him
Lotus
as well.
Orbs.
Yeah, nobody else has got anything to save him. That will cause huge issue for Palantimos. He gets orchided. I mean, the money nearly there actually for the full Bloodthorn. Oh, collapsed.
Well, that's actually really nice as a tool to completely negate evasion. One of the only items in Dota, with the exception of Divine Rapier. In fact, it is the only item other than Divine Rapier that can remove evasion entirely. more ways to counter it, of course.
Technically,
And
these
this
also
now
belong
from
to me.
TorontoTokyo as well. As in the River Slayer, he's been found here. Now run him down. He's speedy. Oh, not speedy enough to get away from a wind running Windranger. It's top lane Pikachu. Jumps to be made by yatoro. He's in with the Abyssal. Time will be brought. So TORONTOTOKYO is going to jump over towards Palantimos. Going to start forcing back the Lifestealer. Collapse and yatoro. They're still going for Pikachu. Pikachu, he posts the BKB. He's got to get out with his TP. And he will do so. He's able to TP on time. He'll make it away. Now Spirit, they're ready to start pushing up to the base. There's no death profit. Does have a buyback available. Let's see if they can hold this. Pikachu has to be careful. No BKB charge ready.
Really careful here. Toronto's got the BKB ready.
Are fortified.
See, first the Wraith King the once. Back for round 2, then the Shackle connects. They're over towards Ghostik. The Lotus is now up. Ghostik, so he's able to reflect the stun still. Ooh, he's going to tick out. Can't make it back to the base. They turn with the stun on TORONTOTOKYO, but the Eon Disc gives him the chance to pop the BKB and step back. Toro continues to try and focus objectives. They have lost the creep wave though. His backdoor protection kicks in momentarily. Spirit to reset a little bit.
Net worth is a little misleading right now. Yatoro has almost a full Swift Blink, not currently active. Game more even than net worth may appear. However, they've hit such an insane timing, and they can just wait. Station's up again.
He gets shackled off the creep wave. They're in onto him, and they got the damage. Yatoro, can he bring down Palantimos in time? He's trying.
They got Toronto.
He can't quite. In fact, Palantimos, he's turning back over towards Yatoro. Jump to the side. Pikachu's getting in there with the Astral Step over towards the edge. Slayer, he's ready to start swinging in with the Exorcism. Mira will kite him up with Disruption. Pikachu jumping over, grabs the Shadow Demon back with the Remnant. Glimmer Cave still buying time for Mira. Yatoro is still getting focused down here, but he's got a few lives to work through. But they've lost 2. They've lost Slayer. They've lost TORONTOTOKYO.
A wild fight. Yeah, that was a great initiation. Pikachu, again, like, he's doing his part. They managed to burst down the Windranger near the back of the fight, ignoring Yatoro. His Aeon Disc, his BKB were on cooldown. They did get Ghostik. He did not, he did not buy back. They just kind of, you know, when you're killing a Tidehunter, unfortunately, you typically have to utilize more resources than you would want. And that was the case there. But nice job by Bignum and Pikachu just to find that kill on the necessary core. And the one danger is you're going to get, yeah, Swift Blink is ready, and now we can slot it in. Once Aegis fades, he will be officially out of room to grow. You could argue we could replace Boots by Moonshot, sure, but either way, reaching his near peak. Abyssal now finished on Lifestealer, and we did see Collapse's Bloodthorn come into play there, because, again, you remove the total evasion from the Lifestealer. Did he talent? No, he did not. He actually, wow, he went to the Ghoul Frenzy slow, but I guess that makes sense. You're playing against MKB already, and there's a Bloodthorn, so it makes sense, but that's why you get it, right? 20% plus the 60% would have been pretty nuts. You kind of need more tools to deal with it, and I expect that the final item for Yatoro, oh wow, no, it's a Bloodthorn of his own. They recognize the importance of any evasion. I thought maybe a Rapier. It still could be in the cards. We'll see.
We're going to see the jump from Spirit. Palantimos, he's shown on the wave. Start teasing things out with the illusion, but taken out. Now they're going to hit back with a smoking spell she needs.
I know. Be careful here.
Scan it as well. They know the rough area of Spirit.
The pop hit from the high ground.
Lay up. Oh. He jumped straight in there. Not the strongest of initiators there. Slayers, he just goes in, drops the silence, and immediately drops his life for a Pikachu. He's got to be careful. He's trying to run. Going to jump to the side here. He's up into the high ground. But he has been rocked. He's got to keep holding himself still. But there's the jump. They're in with the stun. They're taking him out. And now turn that towards Palantimos. There'll be a buyback from Pikachu. Yatoro's on the run. Palantimos getting in with the Abyssal, but Mira keeps the Wraith King safe with the disruption. They turn for the silence. Over the right to their Abshi's around the step, but he goes down. They can't stay with the time. The poison damage from Mira enough to push Palantimos over the edge. And now they're without the Lifestealer for 2 whole minutes. Pikachu trying his best to fight back. He's got the 25 for them. Stimulate stun is helping. Over to the side Slayer, he's committing in with the Exorcism. Protoss holds him back. Two Spirit sees the opportunity to jump back in. It's a long time where they don't have to worry about the Lifestealer getting involved again.
Pikachu's the real deal, but it's just not enough. It is not enough for his team in this game. A really late buyback from Slayer. I'm cool with the blink up into the high ground into an immediate abyssal death.
If you're gonna use the button,
You gotta buy back immediately because that breaks open the fight. Your team should be initiating off the back of your intentional death. We've seen that time after time from Kuro, from Solo, and these big critical matches. But if you stay buyback for that long, been a hold-up grab on him.
and it's already
Okay. All right.
takes out Bignum. Bignum will buy back. Use the BKB for that attempt. Yatoro got Pikachu jumping in. The Wraith King. With him chain stunned. You can't stop him from
Radiant's
taking the
middle
tower.
tower has fallen.
First room one.
Whoa! Oh, the disrupt!
Oh,
The disrupt on the finger!
I thought him disappear. I was like, wait, he didn't die. He didn't lose the ult. He's still got a good to go. Mira with the perfect timing. All right, oh baby. As Ghostik, well, he just gets jumped to focus fired under the side. Slayer's gonna go down. That's the dieback from him. They have a fortification. Ghostik will buy back. Inside the base, Mira. I'm not quite sure what he's doing here. He's pretty deep. But he's making space, and space will be made. The mid-range taken down by Spirit. They're still trying to bring Yatoro down though once. They can do it this time. Not forced down the side. They jump forward. Their eyes to burst it. At the same time, though, the Shackles come out to turn, and Palantimos ready to chase with the Rage. Jumps into Pikachu, allows him to close the gap on him at Miposhka. They get the Cottle. There'll be a buyback from Mira. The rest of Spirit, they backed off.
Bounty.
They got what they came for. Set of racks, and we'll see that finger damage dodge here again.
Got juke in the carry as well, man. I love the slow-mo.
Perfectly done. That little bit of instance between the connection and the damage being dealt. Mira's able to find it.
I think he toggled too, so he's actually just dead to any touch there. So really nice timing. They get how many buybacks? I think they used pretty much the whole team. Yeah, everybody on the Radiant side has used their buyback. With the exception of Palantimos, who used it before, but needs a little more gold for it. But first, I like what he's got queued up. Rapier, you need it.
He does.
You are so far behind, you feel it. The damage output just simply not there. BKB now complete on the Bloodseeker.
Just got to make sure whoever he jumps with this Bissell is zeroed throughout the duration of his rage. And here we go. That Bloodthorn done. So, a couple of measures to deal with that. There's Halberds. Evasion. Break through the linkers.
The trouble is, Slayer and Bignum, you know, it's at the point, you've got this Ghost Scepter on Slayer, you have some blinks on both, but you just die. You die to anything, you know, this Abyssal comes in, all of a sudden you're gone with no buyback. It's just so difficult now for your cores to actually stick targets. You gotta play near flow from here on out.
Is under attack.
Game. TORONTOTOKYO Daedalus complete level 25. Really like the Aeon Disc. This is something I've wanted to bring up for a while. In many ways, both Western and Eastern Europe are behind. In SEA and China, Aeon Disc is like a very common item pick, especially on heroes like these Vints, Void Spirit, Windrangers, you know, third item this week. I've even seen it second item because it guarantees that you can tank that initial burst, reset, get your spells off.
This is a aggressive move here from TORONTOTOKYO. Straight in onto Ghostik.
Aeon Disc.
Now he's got the BKB.
Well, he had Arcane Rune too, plus that CDR talent at 25, so that's a 40-second CD on his Aeon and 25 on BK.
Well, that's pretty ridiculous.
That's nuts.
You see that sort of low of a cooldown on the old Aeon Disc. Yeah. Said already. Definitely the merits of time, but on these sort of heroes with that benefit.
We saw it in the Enigma series from yesterday as well. The Wind Waker will be another thing that becomes more meta. I feel everybody is maximizing on their damage output. The next evolution of the meta will be people realizing, if we just survive that initial onslaught, you know, with this lion becoming more common as an example, you're going to turn the fight around 100%. You just have to make sure that all 5 of your heroes can get their skills up. Ghostik, hello. Ghostik. Okay, no buyback, all right.
They've lost the time for 2 minutes. And over to the start, yatoro. He's in, straight on his plan. Now he's going to look towards Pikachu. Pikachu trying to find Mira, but Mira down to keep the stealth alive with the stealth disruption. Jump back is there with the remnant. Mira does fall, but over to the side, yatoro is trying to run down the death prop. He's going to turn his efforts over towards Pikachu as they're taking them down one by one. As Pikachu is going to yaws himself up in the air. Palantimos trying to take down what he can. He's able to get down TORONTOTOKYO. Can Palantimos do this? He's looking over towards yatoro. Yatoro's got the backup of collapse. The blood right comes in. Pikachu coming in the air. Step first. They take down the Wraith King the ones. Can the two of them clean up again? Silence out onto this Lifestealer and the damage for yatoro. It's too much for Palantimos to deal with. As he's bloodthorned, critted down by the Wraith King. Just Pikachu left alive and he's got to run.
As he respawns, he blinked in melee range just to get the swift blink. He's like, you know what? I need that little bit of extra juice. Hits the nitrous, and like Vin Diesel blew past Paul Walker, he ensures he's got the right click to go toe-to-toe. I think he probably wins that duel anyway, but you just want to make sure, you know, no rookie mistakes.
I did look like he was on the verge of maybe Palantimos being able to tear the whole team apart. He was doing a good job. Getting that strong early kill in the fight on the Windranger, but just not enough.
Animations are nuts. I don't even know what the hell's going on with the true King Fritz plus the what's even happening? Give him a Giants ring now. All we need. It's a 51-minute game. What? Time flies, man.
No, I mean it did, yeah. It's a 51-minute game that it's just been a game of it really feels unique, just falling further and further behind and about to fall even further down. By the looks of it, it's Pikachu. He's been caught. And he's now out and down for 2 minutes. No buyback at the moment here on Pikachu, so big window here for Spirit to push on and put themselves close towards that victory.
Maybe yatoro, I mean, he's got Aegis. He's got Bloodthorn finished. Peekabee, Swift Blink. Moon Shard complete. Is there anything else you need to go high ground? Guaranteed 4v5 now for the next 100 seconds. Team Spirit, is it time? The answer is yes. But how much will they get out of this? Hex on the coddle, oh my god. Pressure Shard now on the Shadow Demon. Poor Mira, 3-10 and 10. He's had a performance, but
he's doing his job.
Yeah. It's like, why are they killing me, guys? I don't understand. Nice smoke wrap, but I don't know.
Ghostik always in, but it's the rabbit on to collapse. They burst him with the finger, but he's not quite dead. Collapse, he's able to get up off the cheese. He's back up to full. Shackles out onto Slayer. Slayer's gone and they'll call it. They know if that's not going to do it, nothing is at this point.
Mira got it. Mira got an egg.
Oh boy. That was a long game, but definitely one that I feel is not going to feel longer for anyone other than the players on Unique, because it was just a game of eternally falling further and further